Welcome everybody to the On the Whistle podcast. Here we are once again, and today we are interviewing someone that I know very well, Mandla Zwane, who had the privilege of playing for a legendary late manager, Mr. Bobby Robson in Portugal. This is the second time Mandla has been on our show. Mandla Zwane, how are you?
I'm good, and you, my friend. Thanks for the introduction.
I'm very well, and I'm happy to see you again. But Mandla, in your Sunderland United kit, where are you in the world?
Good question. I'm currently in India, right? So this shirt that I'm wearing, I happen to be in England some time back, so I kept this as a memorabilia. I went to Sunderland with a program called Future Champs in 2014, I think. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I got this Sunderland t-shirt. However, I'm now in India. Can you imagine?
Mandla, the last time I spoke to you, you were in South Africa. You were busy with the universities, highly qualified, firstly, not able to secure the type of jobs you want. How did you end up in India, Mandla? Please tell us.
Yeah, look, man, all I did was, in football world, it's a small world for football people. We always communicate with people. Then now there are other people who know other people who know other people. And the guy whom you know by the name of Kamlesh, he used to be a journalist for many Rangers. He's the one who arranged this last year around July, August, somewhere there. So yeah, once he spoke to me about someone that wants to bring a foreign coach to his academy, so he asked if I might have an interest. I said, look, there's nothing wrong. Football is played everywhere, on the street, on the tar road, everywhere. So I said, as long as there's football, that's where I'll go. That's how the communication started, and eventually I ended up here in India. I came around December 2023.
So you've been
so I've been in India since December, yes.
So you've been in India from December 23. Tell us a bit about what you are currently doing out there. So are you running coaching clinics? Do you have an academy you're working with? What are you currently doing?
I'm currently working with a football soccer school. So this side is totally different. They are not called academies, so to speak, but it's individuals that want to do that are doing soccer, and of which they call them mini schools. So yeah, he's got about over 100 kids, but in different venues. So it's unlike in England or in South Africa where it's a club based with an academy. Yes, there are those academies like that, club academies, but there are also this influx of individuals that start soccer schools in different venues just to unearth talent. That's what I'm basically doing.
Now, India is a big place, heavy population. Can you give us specifics? Where in India are you?
I'm in the south of India called Kerala State, one of the huge states in India. Kerala State, yeah.
And now, as football is an international language, man, what is the quality of football like in these academies? Or have you been surprised by it? Do you feel they are still years behind? Is there anything impactful that's going to come out of this new adventure of yours?
Look, it's obviously you cannot measure players based on 2 months, 3 months, or 5 months, but over time. But I think, as you know, that at some point, Arsene Wenger once came to India and looked at the potential of the Indian population and said India should be among the top nations in world football, considering the size of India and considering the human capacity that they have. I mean, 1.4 billion people. It's impossible for them not to qualify for any junior or senior national team level matches. So it starts with development, So that's where I am at the moment. Look, it's obvious we cannot find the ready-made players. It's only those rare times where you find players who can, do a solo run, do a Messi run, or maybe Cristiano Ronaldo. But over time, they get better with better coaching, But at grassroots level, the work is too much. there must be it needs an overhaul mindset of thinking to say, where do we want to see India is in 10 years, 20 years time, just like the Japanese and the South Koreans have done, to have more than 10-year plan or 20-year plan to say, out of this group, this is what we want to be. We want to focus on this group, if not this group, state by state. And the way they're doing it, they have the state Kerala's Premier League, which is also good, where they've got a league on its own, except the major one that is run by the mother body. At least they're doing something about it, but it has to be more, because of all there maybe teams are few, and now they've ventured into another IPL like type of a arrangement. It's about to now kick off now in June or July, somewhere there. So at least they're trying to do something about it, and they just need to be given an opportunity to work on their environment and to understand the beauty about they understand their circumstances, because this environment is not conducive. I mean, it's hot. You can't train from 9 o'clock. It's too hot. So it puts the players at disadvantage. You know what I mean? So yeah, and now they can only train after 3 or after 4. Sometimes they coming off from school, they quickly rush to training sessions, and only 1 hour, and so there's not much you can do. Yes, you can do something with 1 hour, but you find that we have the under 8 and under 10, all of them together to be the under 12s. So the planning becomes a little bit of a challenge, but they're getting better. But in terms of talent, there are talented players. Make no mistake. It's just that they need to be nurtured and channeled in the right direction.
Well, I know you know development. You were a player of development that came through the ranks to be a successful player. Now you've gone to a cricket mad country, right? So how is there a level of football trying to overpower the cricket in this country? How is that being able to be managed by people like yourself?
Look, there's a paradigm shift, because there's a lot of youngsters who play soccer right now. There's too many of them. Unfortunately, the amateur level is not being televised, it's not being taken out there to the world for the world to see. But there's a lot of talented youngsters who are taking soccer seriously, who want to change the mentality of the world to say India is the only cricket country. No, there's too many good players here, too many academies. That goes to show that it's not only cricket, but soccer as well. So that means that now cricket will have a challenge in terms of losing out to soccer, because of majority of soccer players. Probably there's more, because of in football you can accommodate up to 30 players, 20, 25 players or 30 players, whereas in cricket you can accommodate up to 10, 15. So yeah, but I think they're doing the right job by going back to the roots, come to unearth talent at a young age. I mean, I've seen almost every 7 o'clock in the morning, there's a group, more than 200 kids training on the other field. I'm sorry, not 200, over 70 kids training on the other field. That goes to show that kids have also taken football seriously, because of your Messi, your Ronaldo evolution. That's what kids want to do. Because if you can check here, there's a lot of Ronaldo shirts and Messi shirts from Inter Miami. It's crazy. So they've taken football very, 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 very seriously.
Now, you look at this country has created the casino of cricket, where they have made cricket such a marketable sport with some of the best players in the world. Do you think that India has the opportunity to create something like that in regards to football?
I think they do have the opportunity. Like I said, they've also started, there's going to be a league that's going to start in July that is similarly with the IPL. However, there's also the Premier League side that is playing in India. They call it ISL, India Soccer League. They're going to PSL in South Africa, or EPL Premiership in England. They do have that tier, which is the high performance. They're also creating another one that is state run, IPL, because of, look, the talent is too much. Players are too much, but then now you may find that some teams are only few in the ISL. So that's why I said to they ventured into another avenue, maybe another IPL type of a scenario where some players who cannot make it in the ISL, they also have an opportunity to be marketable, so that by the time they get there, they are Virat Kohli of football, or Sachin Tendulkar of football, so to speak.
Now, you, as I know, and I know you well, an ambitious person. Have you got any ambitions in coaching a team in those leagues, or do you have the possibility of coaching a team in those particular leagues that are going to be put together?
Look, everyone, in football, you can coach anywhere. I've got those ambitions. However, I just need to establish myself here first so that I can venture into something else. But then now I do have those ambitions to go to coach in the top leagues in India, because there's I-League 2, I-League 1, and the ISL, and then of course the state leagues, because of majority of the teams, I think they're in the north, Bengaluru, Goa, and New Delhi. That's where you find most majority of those teams that play in ISL. But it's obvious I do have those ambitions to coach in that division, if given a chance, of course.
Now, I'm going to make reference to one of our former teammates. I don't know if you've been following the progress of a former teammate of ours, Clinton Larsen, who's taken over a team in Polokwane 2 seasons ago. They were bottom of the table when he took over. They've been promoted to the PSL. They are playing tomorrow in Venda. Have you got ambitions also to go back to South Africa and find a club in the first division or the PSL?
Just before I answer your question, Clinton Larsen, he is my player that I coach at University level. He's been playing regularly for his club. So he got promoted using my player that I developed while I was still at University of Johannesburg.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So it's obviously why do we have those ambitions? I mean, look, home is home, So whenever I get a call to say, hey, come back, there's a job offer for you. Yes, I'm more than willing to come back home and coach. Up until then, why should I go home if there's nothing that I can come back to? I can only go back if there's something that is tangible, that is good for me as well, that is also good for my career growth as well. But congratulations to Clinton Larsen.
Well, listen, what he's done with the team is fantastic. Like I said, he took over the team that were in relegation. They were fighting relegation. 18 months' time, he's turned the team around. They top of the table by 5 points. If they win tomorrow, they're already promoted. But if they win tomorrow, they automatically go into the PSL. I think it's a wonderful achievement for him.
Yeah, it is. It is wonderful. I mean, they won the league 2 weeks ago. Yes, because I've been following that. They won the league 2 weeks ago. Tomorrow's game is just a formality to finish off the league. They won the league 2 weeks ago, and of which he did a very, very good job. I mean, coming to Magesi, where no one else would ever thought that Magesi would be in the PSL today. Credit given to the chairman who saw the need to bring someone of Clinton Larsen's caliber to come and steer the ship into the promised land. And I hope that then now when they get there, they must do their planning very, very, very well in order for them to survive. Because of, PSL, you can go up now, tomorrow you're down. So they must do the good thing is he understands PSL, he knows it. He played there, he coached there, so he understands the pros and cons of the PSL, which is also known to you and me that the more, if you accumulate points early in the season, you stand a better chance of surviving the first season. If you can survive the first season, second season, you can always challenge for honors, and of which I think he's more than capable of doing.
Mandla, the last time you and I spoke, we spoke about opportunities. The last time you and I spoke, we spoke about Bafana, the limited progress Bafana are making, and you felt that people weren't getting the opportunities to get into different positions and make a difference. The Bafana flag now has changed. The product is doing much better than what it was. What changes have you seen happen that has contributed to some of the success with Bafana?
Some of the successes that I've picked up is that the coach knew what he wanted to do with Bafana Bafana, didn't listen to, so to speak, the agents of the so-called top players. He only went to the players that he felt they were ready for Bafana Bafana reckoning, and he introduced a lot of youngsters, and of which it didn't change everything completely, but it changed quite a bit. But he remained with the nucleus of those players that can, withstand the pressures of playing in Africa. Most notably, he took majority of the Sundowns players because of Sundowns is playing the CAF Champions League. So they understand the terrain very well. So it didn't change a lot. He only added using the Sundowns players, and of which credit to be given to him, and also to unearth some of the players that believe you me, I never thought Mahopa would play for Bafana and score in the Nations Cup, So he took him. He also took other players that Zakari passed. He took some players that you would never think coaches would see those players because he gave players opportunity based on merit. Meritocracy was the order of the day because he knew that if I can get the players that are not familiar with the supporters or the newspaper people or maybe with the journalists, then we stand a chance of delivering. And at the same time, building the team for the future. It did that very, very well. He balanced both the experience and experience very, very well. It tells you that he's been a football coach for over 30 years, so you cannot substitute that for nothing.
The one thing that impressed me, Mandla, looking at the Bafana team, is not actually the team. I wasn't that much impressed with the team. I was impressed with the team behind the team. The structure of the management and the coaches all involved in the team, because I now look at it as 7 or 8 people all involved in trying to get the maximum out of these players. And I think that's been one of his very clever moves that he's made. He's brought people in and local people to make a difference to the national team.
Look, we all know national team, it's a national team, it's not a club level. You bring the best that the country has. And to his credit, he relied on those people, And if you look at world football today, all the national teams, look at their technical team. It's not only 3 people who are there. It's about 11 technical people, So I think he brought that also to say, you know what, you don't need 3 people on the bench. We need sports science, doctors, physios, and those technical directors that you and I maybe don't know about, but they were there observing from the top and then maybe giving out instructions, maybe some suggestions to the assistant coaches, that they think maybe they can use it will benefit the team, and of which I think is an open coach to say, you know what, yes, they see differently from the top. Why don't we incorporate what they say, tweak it here and there? And look, it bore results. I mean, Bafana from non-qualifying to position 3 in Africa, it's unheard of.
Absolutely.
Right now, everyone is talking about Bafana players. I mean, some teams from Europe, at some point, Bendy is looking for a right back from Sundowns because he's seen in the nations team. I mean, who's Kuriso Mudau, which is a fantastic player. So no one has thought that Bafana would be where they are today. But through him, because he worked before, he won the Nations Cup, he understands the African terrain very well. So he understood that information is more important than the ego. So he didn't worry about his ego that he's been advised by someone so and so whom is junior to him. No, he listened and tweak it. Not to say he did everything, but he listened, tweak it, and implement based on what is required at that particular moment. And look, he must be given credit for that.
You have the qualifications to manage a team in the Premier League. Once again, Sundowns have steamrolled the competition in the PSL this season and gone on to comfortably win the league. Mandla, what would you be saying to a chairman if a chairman is out there now listening, because this is going to be happening now, there's going to be chairmans out there listening. Unfortunately, some managers being fired. Unfortunately, we never want managers to be fired, but this is how jobs are created. What would you be saying to a chairman that you could bring to a team in the PSL?
Look, to a team in the PSL, for me, even given an opportunity, the plan is not to stop Sundowns. The plan is to play attractive football. The teams right now in the PSL, I can tell you where I may fit in the PSL, but I cannot leave that much out now, but I can tell you it's easy to play and play in the PSL than in other, like in the lower leagues of South Africa, because of the time and space and the amount of matches that are there. So you need a proper planning, and you need to have a scouting that won't stop scouting even in the season when the league is on. You need scouting throughout the season because players are found everywhere, but we don't go around to look for players, because what happens now is that you find the teams that have agents, which is nothing wrong with that, but I think the team also need to have their own scouts that can go out and look out for players and invite those players, of course, with the presence of the coach. You say, on these days, you need those players to come to have a look and then start to plan around that. So all of those things, they need time, but unfortunately, in South Africa, time is something that we have, but unfortunately, we don't have because of instant results, And instant results, there's a recipe for disaster because now coaches can't plan, 3-5 games ahead. You need to plan per game, per opposition, and then after that 90 minutes, you already start to plan about the opponent. And also, to analyze the opposition, you also need another person that can go and analyze the teams that you're going to be playing against the following week or in 2 weeks' time. And it depends on where they play. So you need to have those kind of scenarios because of that's what Sundowns is killing most teams with. They've got scouts, they've got analysts who goes and watch matches way in advance. So when that time comes, the coach, that scout has already have about 3-4 games of the teams that are about to play Sundowns. They come out and give the coach the necessary tools that he needs. All that he has to do is to implement and plan a strategy to overpower the opposition. That's all. I don't know if I make my sense. I made sense.
No, you do.
Because really,
you talk about planning and preparation. You talk about structures being in place.
Yes, and again, also remember, there's over reliance on video video analysis, which is good. There's nothing wrong with that. But the eye sees beyond the video. Do you understand? The eye sees beyond the video because of the video sees where the action is. But what happens to the other situations where the video is not there? But if you send someone who can have an overview of the whole field, it will give you a better perspective, including the video. In that way, you'll have all the necessary armaments for you to plan the strategy of beating the opponent.
I get what you say. This is the difficulty that sometimes supporters don't look at when they're watching a football match, that they only look at one particular action where the attacking may be happening, but not looking at how the team, while they're attacking, how they're also setting up defensively for when they lose the ball. So the retrieval is very quick. I get your point. I hope there's a chairman out there listening to your insights and thinking, I need to tap into that young gentleman. I need to get him to my club. Absolutely. I would love that move to happen for you, Mandla. But let's just go back to another aspect of the type of coach you are. When we played, we ran a lot and then ran. And then ran. And then ran some more. It was such a simple formula that the manager at the time put in place. What type of coach are you in terms of preparation for a football game?
Look, let me just go back to the running part. Remember, majority of us, technically we were gifted. The coaches didn't worry about the technical ability of the players then. Yet now things have changed. You know, we've got gadget players, but you know, they only train when it's time to train. Yet you and I grew up at a time where we played football from morning till sunset. So by doing that, you also working on your technical ability, unaware that this is going to be needed later on in life. So now, coming to the current generation, you've got to deal with the basics. Because where I am at the moment, I need to teach the basics. Incorporate it with running, but they won't see that they are running. They're touching the ball more than what they think. They are touching the ball, they are running at the same time. So as a coach, you need to be able to do that. There's so many things that you can do with the ball. Players running with the ball, and then you add in those kilometers, or maybe to put on the endurance part, but using the ball. Even 10 by 10 meters or 20 by 20 meters, it's more than enough because of if you look at those repetitions, they cover almost a kilometer or two, but it's a short spaced distance. And then now, you know, so but at the same time, they're touching the ball, all the ball mastery. Inside foot, outside foot, thigh control, chest control, and heading. All those elements that they are all included in that type of running, which you and I were not exposed to. You know, so my coaching is let the players touch the ball so that because they are playing the football, they are not running, they are playing football. So football has to be the core, has to be the center around the training session. So I don't know if I answered you correctly.
Well, no, you gave a philosophy almost similar to almost like a Ted Dumitri answer. Let the ball be in everything. Let football make you run without you knowing you're running, which Ted used to say a lot to us. No, you won't know you're running. You just keep playing with the ball. Yeah.
Yeah, you just keep playing with the ball. And also remember, especially at the youth level, the players, they're not used to using the chest or the stomach to control the ball. You know, so slowly you introduce that, just throw the ball, just use the chest. They use the chest. They feel that no, I'm not gonna die from receiving the ball from the chest. You know, all of those things because of that's what's going to happen when now there's 5-a-side, the small-sided games, a 1v1 situation or 2v2 situation where the ball is played just to control. So if you didn't introduce it during the warm-up and maybe while they're playing fun games, they won't have that. But once that happens, they can recognize, hey, now it's not no time for me to lift my leg, but it's time for me to shift across and use the body to control the ball. What a beauty. So in that way, they are learning something, you know, without even realizing that that small shift, it also adds in terms of speed and agility at the same time, you know. So there's a lot that with the ball, players tend to benefit, especially my coaching philosophy. I use the ball more often than
I like the sentence, Mandla. They are learning a lot. I like that sentence. So let's look at something now, Mandla. I'm going to ask you 5 questions. I'm looking for 5 quick answers about yourself and where you're currently living. Firstly, since you've been living in India, what is your favorite food you've been eating there?
fried rice and chicken biryani. That's what I don't know.
What do you enjoy most about living in India?
Look, people are friendly. People are friendly. That's all. And yeah, people are friendly. That's all I can say about India. Because they are very friendly people, you know. So, and we have a lot in common. Remember, we do have Indian population in South Africa, both in Johannesburg and Durban, all areas of South Africa, even in Cape Town. We do have Indians. They are friendly people. So that's what I enjoy the most about.
What do you not enjoy a lot about India?
The temperature, the climate.
Ngiyabona
For
mfowethu
now,
uyajugula kakhulu ngiyabona.
I'm sweating as is, bruh. I can't even switch on the fan yet because I'm in the conversation with you. So it's going to affect the sound.
And have you been to a cricket match while you've been out there?
No, I haven't been. Look, India is massive, and those cricket matches are played in 5-hour drive from where I am. 7 hours, 11 hours drive from where I am. So even with the train, I would only even get there. So yeah, and again, it's stampede like no other.
And my final
in terms of traffic, yeah.
And my final question, Mandla, if you had to sit and meet someone like we are today, what would you say about India in order to promote it, to encourage other people to go to the country?
Look, is to say if you want to re-establish yourself or if you want to change scenario to come out of a comfort zone, come to India and you will see that there's a lot that can be done in it. Not only cricket, but in soccer as well. There's a lot that needs to be done. And it's obviously what I've been telling my players that they are too much in their comfort zone, so they need to come out. And when I talk, I project myself, my voice becomes like as if I'm shouting. I said, but you need to come out. So if you are on the other side of the field, I won't talk soft. I have to be hard. I have to be loud. So get used to it, come out of it, and enjoy football. I'm not trying to intimidate you, but try to man up a bit, because I think that's where the challenge is in India. They are they're too reserved, they're too respectful. Sometimes have to win the ball 50-50, they can't go 50-50. So I had to come in and say, hey, go tight, don't hurt, but win the ball. So all those things. That's what I'm saying. People should come out and explore. Don't be afraid to come out of your comfort zone because of nice life in Johannesburg or whatever, or in South Africa. But come out and see the world. Who knows? Maybe you might be spotted by someone who's going to take you to the Gulf or back in Europe. You never know, because the world is a small world. It's a small world. I mean, football world is interconnected. Right now, I'm talking to you. There could be someone listening, maybe in Saudi Arabia or in UAE, where Coach Pitso Musimane is at the moment. You never know, So South Africans should come out of their comfort zone and explore. I mean, what is there to lose? What is there to lose? Then you are a coach, but you never left your country while playing. Now you've retired, you haven't left South Africa. Maybe lucky those who played for bigger clubs that participate in CAF Champions League and countries. That's when they get to leave South Africa. Other than that, we are, bottled in South Africa. Go out there and explore life and see what world has out there for people. Not only, your life shouldn't depend only maybe in South Africa. Yes, South Africa is in the secular state. We live in the world where we are interconnected. Bradley Carney is in USA right now, coaching there. And I'm happy for, unfortunately, Abosino just left his job in Tanzania. He's back in South Africa, but I think he might go back. He was coaching in Lesotho. So, all those lessons that you learn, when you're ready, you can go back and implement them back home because of the experiences that you've experienced outside your comfort zone.
Mandla Zwane, my friend, my former teammate, the very insightful, full of credentials. It's always a pleasure to speak to you. Thank you for your time today. And to our listeners out there, if you have any questions about this podcast, please follow us on the Whistle Podcast, our YouTube channel, our Instagrams, as well as our Twitter channel. We hope to speak to you again, Mandla, and we wish you all the best for the future.
Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you for affording me this opportunity. Thank you.